From all the NLP techniques out there, which ones can you use the most easily to handle confrontational people and difficult conversations in the blink of an eye? The topic of handling confrontations and verbal conflicts of any sort is very, very tricky because at first it tends to trigger our sense of fight or flight. You may know about this mechanism built in our neurology and nervous system from an early age. We don't like conflict, we don't like to be in opposition to somebody who disagrees, and we are scared sometimes. So in the back of our mind we tend to want to just escape the fight, escape the conflict. We kind of retreat into our shell, and we might also be scared of losing somebody because sometimes it is not just a stranger, it is somebody close to you, somebody you don't really want to have an argument with because you are scared of losing that person. You are scared of being rejected by that person. Ultimately, it might be difficult because we might project something on the other person that is actually not coming from them. This happens, for example, when you had a really bad day and you just encounter your wife, your kids, or anybody, and you just unload all your anger on them, but they were not the ones that caused you to feel that in the beginning. But since we repress feelings, it tends to explode later, and that might trigger the insecurities of the person in front of you too, so then it escalates into a debilitating conflict, and that is what we want to address here. Because ultimately, once you can handle conflicts and verbal confrontations of any sort very easily, you have definitely a reduced stress, because when you know that anyone you encounter today will not cause any damage to you, to your emotions, to your mind, then obviously you're less stressed out when you go out, when you go to meet people, or when you interact with people. You don't suffer from the absolute introvert syndrome where you think that nobody can ever like you. You just lose that stress, and you get better social support around you. No matter what kind of project you have in your life, you get the ability to get past the fear somehow more easily, because there are more people around you with whom you have more ease to communicate, and they can support you because you can support them better, because everyone stops projecting on each other their own bag of shit. Therefore, the first technique we want to elaborate on right now is more mental than verbal, because first of all, it's about framing your mind in the right way before anything you say can really have an impact in the mind of the person you are interacting with. The first technique is called submodalities. Nothing new, I know you know about that, but the idea is to mentally shrink the person into a very small, tiny piece of nothing, up to the point where you don't feel as much damage from their presence.
What the fuck?
Beet juice in the house. This is your brains on drugs.
For example, if you had a conflict lately and you suffered from that because you were not really able to argue with that person, you kind of lost the words you wanted to say, you didn't know what to say basically. If you go back to that interaction in your mind and you imagine right now that this person is really shrinking down, reducing in size up to the point where it might be just a small little character like this fitting in your hand. At the same time, you can get yourself bigger in your imagination. If you were to see yourself from a distance, you imagine you grow bigger, or you grow more solid, stronger, like if you were made of diamonds. I think it was an exercise from Russ Jeffries at some point, imagining yourself filled with diamonds, which is one of the most tough surface on Earth. Tough structure. You imagine yourself so strongly rooted that the other person can't affect you anymore. That is a small mental game, and is obviously not the whole thing about dealing with conflict, but that is the first thing to frame your mind, to practice a few times per week maybe, to visualize the people you used to be frightened by, or the people you have trouble arguing with. You practice imagining them like this, very small, fitting in your hand like this, and whenever they argue with you, you imagine them like this, and speaking with like if it was a cartoon character like this trying to bully you, but this is just a small piece of shit. So why would you be affected by this small piece of nothing. That is the first thing to frame your mind in the right space so that you temper the fight or flight response. We first need to detach emotionally from that paralyzing fear. Then you get some more free mental space to think more clearly and to elaborate on what you will say to that person. As a consequence, technique number 2 is a subtle version of what we might call the pacing and leading, but not exactly pacing and leading, because usually pacing and leading is about taking the ideas or the words or like the concepts that person just said and using those, agreeing upon those to then lead the conversation into something maybe more controversial or something more sensitive you want to drift into. Here, it is not about following their whole ideology, arguments, whatever. You just, to buy yourself some more mental space and free emotional freedom, you repeat the last word or the last words they just said. If the person says, for example, "But you never listen to me, you never do like I say," and you might just reply with, "Never do like you say." That's all. The person will maybe get more angry at first, that's normal. You just make them repeat, or like you make them elaborate by mimicking as if you did not understand what they meant. Of course you understood, but it is just to do in the beginning so that you liberate, you get more mental space to think, you buy yourself some more time to think. If the conflict is really suffocating because you can't think, you can't breathe anymore, the fact of repeating their last words will help you to get some more mental freedom so that you can think more intelligently about what you want to say next. So if they say, "Yeah, because you never listen to me," never listen to you. "Yeah, you're just never taking care of me, you just think about yourself." Think about myself. Or if they get even more confrontational and say, "You're just a piece of shit." A piece of shit. You keep going like this until they start to ease down the pressure. When somebody is at such a heightened state of anger, of aggressiveness, pretty much no logical argument you make will make sense in their head at this moment. They first need to drop down, to unload all the anger they may have at this moment. From there, then you can get more logical and pursue the conversation more intelligently. If the state of anger in you or in them is too high, then the conversation is just nonsense at this point. So you first help them to unload their anger by making them elaborate on all the things they can't stand about you, all the things they hate, all the things you did wrong. Make them spit out all of that. Once they have spit out the whole shit, then we can proceed. And we are going to proceed with the third technique here, known broadly as the as-if frame into NLP. But here we are going to use it as if there was going to be an agreement anyway in this conversation. So you might say something like, "If we could find a compromise, you and I, right now," or like, "If we could find an agreement, what do you think it could be?" You only ask that once they tempered a bit down. Once they cooled down, then you ask a question like this. If you try to ask that when they are really acting tough and trying to yell at you, it's really useless. Once you can cool them down a little bit by letting them unload their anger, then you say, "Okay, right now we need to find a compromise, don't you agree? I guess we can maybe we can find something on which we can proceed, you and I together. Do you think that could be possible?" You let them answer. Then if they say no, well, then the problem comes from them, not from you anymore. Whole different frame. And the fact of leading with questions makes it easier to lead a conversation rather than trying to oppose resistance by saying, "No, you're wrong, I did this, you did that wrong." If you just oppose resistance, that will escalate into more anger. If you lead with questions, "So what do you think I could do to please you? So what do you think I should do according to your standards? So what do you think I did wrong here? How do you know I did something wrong here?" And slowly, okay, so now from there, if there was a solution, what would that solution could be? If you and I could find an agreement, let's hope we can find some. What could that be? from now, from this present situation, you and I together, finding a compromise. What could that be? And then you go into a more concrete adult conversation. One step at a time. You lead their mind into more intelligent arguments than just emotional 3-year-olds, pissed off child who is just never satisfied about anything. You lead them slowly but surely into a more concrete, logical, adult way of thinking. And in any case, if it is a more serious confrontation, maybe somebody who might actually be violent physically with you, then you might call for their clarifying their intention. Listen, Joe, I can see you're pretty pissed off right now. Can you tell me what do you really want from me? And you let them elaborate on their intention. If there is anything seriously dangerous about their behaviors toward you, then by any means possible, get out of the conversation, isolate yourself for a few minutes, do the exercise we talked about, the first technique, shrinking them down. You close your eyes, you take some deep breath, you shrink them down into your imagination. Imagine them, the person feeding in your hand like this, talking to you like an angry child, and then see how you would respond to that small piece of shit that is just not even relevant in your life anymore. Then you notice what pops out of your mind. Once the fight or flight reflex is gone, how would you respond to that person? And there you will have much more clarity about, okay, what do I seriously really need to do or say to that person? And that was all for the NLP techniques to handle verbal conflicts. There could be many more. And if you want to learn more, you have a small document down below in the description called The 7 Steps to Master Sleight of Mouth, which will be of great use if you need to face such confrontations or difficult conversations at work, in your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. You can find how you would respond in each of those situations one by one by using the right language patterns. This is down below, check the description box. In the meantime, I hope you had a good moment right now. I hope you learned a few things interesting that you can use eventually in the coming weeks, and see you soon in the next video. Thank you.